Texas Prison Story family, salute y'all. It's your boy Tim Snow back here with another one. Tonight's episode is sponsored by The Real Guy. You see it on the screen right here. If you're in Southeast Texas, anywhere coming this way, you need some real repair, custom rods built, any type of thing like that. Holler at my man Dave, and he got you. Type it in The Real Guy on Facebook. And good evening, y'all. Texas Prison Story family, salute, man. It's Tim Snow back here. You might recognize my guest, Mr. Shannon. We did a video. How long ago was it we did that video?
Oh, bro, it's been 5 weeks, maybe somewhere in that neighborhood. 6 weeks, I don't know, something like that. Life been flying by, man.
Man, you know, it really has. That video got a lot of views, and we got a lot of good feedback from it. Everybody enjoyed it. I think you got some good feedback to it, so that was pretty good. We got a few things, y'all, we want to talk about tonight for sure. Everybody in the chat, appreciate y'all. Make sure you double tap the screen if you're watching live on YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook, because we're live both places, then hit the thumbs up. And the first thing I want to talk about, Shannon, it's happened since I've been live. I haven't really did much content lately, and we did some videos talking about the new rule change in TDC, and I'm going to explain it to everybody real quick that hasn't seen it. The new rule change, y'all, it's to curb drug use, paraphernalia, overdoses, things like that. And basically the rule says that if one person gets caught with some type of substance on a cell block, the entire cell block is punished. Like literally the entire cell block is losing their telephones. They're losing everything except their emails. No commissary. The guys are missing school, missing work, they're everything. So with that being said, it's new, right? There's never been a time that I can remember where one person would do something and cause everybody that's not even affiliated, related to it, didn't even approve of it going on. Everybody's getting in trouble. Shannon, what do you think about this hitting the system? You personally, I'm going to ask you from this perspective, right? If you would have been in prison right now, you was getting a visit next week, and some knucklehead fired one up in the day room, tripped out, and you can't get your visit. Like, do you just, at this point, do you just go, well, I accept this because that's the rules? Or are people mad about this? Like, how do you think people are going to treat this man that caused this, is what I'm saying? Not particularly yourself, but just in a general consensus.
Yeah, that's almost a no-brainer, bro. Man, they've been doing these 23-hour and 59-minute lockdowns for a while now because, for any related incident, anything to do with drugs, if it's just a fight, sometimes for no reason at all, they'll make something up, whatever. They can lock the wing down for 23 hours and 59 minutes because they don't have to report it to anybody above the unit administration. But now they started doing these 15-day lockdowns for any drug-related incident. That means if some crackhead is out there smoking dope or however they're doing it, and they flop out on the run and they OD or just make a fool of themselves, man, you just got everybody on the whole wing locked down for 15 days. They're going to come through and confiscate everybody's tablet or turn off the signal for everybody's tablet. And the first thing you think of, well, what about the mail? You can't deny people mail. So they're getting around that by allowing mail on, I think it's like Wednesdays and Fridays or something like that, right? They're scheduling it out. But, man, 15 days is a long minute to be locked in a cell 23 or 24 hours a day, only getting a shower on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. No commissary, no visitation. Hey, that's stiff, and people are going to be very upset. They started on 5 units. They called it a pilot program. And before it ever made it off the pilot program stage, there's already stories about people that are getting stomped out. I heard that one person might have got killed, maybe 2, but I can't confirm that. I don't have the data, but I heard it, right? And that's exactly what that encourages. The officers, they're always chronically shorthanded, and they have a massive drug problem. And so, man, this is a way to go back to inmate enforcement. They're going to punish everybody so that the inmates that don't mess around and that do got stuff going on, they're almost encouraging them to enforce these rules upon the inmates. And inmates enforce rules on inmates in one way.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's getting ugly.
Yeah.
And now
So,
it works so
oh,
well on the pilot program, they decided to spread it statewide. It's crazy.
right. So here's the thing that I feel about this. Like these people knew and they know what's gonna happen, right? They're literally putting it back in the hands of the inmates. They know what time it is. Like you said, they only understand one thing, right? Violence. Period. Heimdall blows. Shout out
Yes.
Big B in the chat. Yeah, they understand violence. That's about it. It's a place full of violent men, violent stuff happening. Like it's literally so bad right now that these state officials just threw up the middle finger, man, and said, we're done. We can't handle it no more. We have no control. We're defeated. That's what this is. This is the state of Texas, their prison system admitting defeat. You know it?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, this is almost going back to turnkeys, you know?
But the
Turnkeys were the
difference back
law.
then, though, look, back then a turnkey could crack your dome open and didn't get in no trouble. Now,
Yes.
these men are going to be enforcing these laws for these police officers, and they're going to be indicting them, though.
Well, that's what's being pushed for right now. A matter of fact, talking about indicting the officers as well as inmates, just like, excuse me, inmate gets caught with some drugs, inmate gets a minimum of 2 more years added onto his sentence. And that's stack time. It does not run consecutive, right? By law, it is automatically stack time, meaning you have to parole your existing sentence that you're serving before you can even begin that new sentence, right? That's how that's working. So if you're
Yeah,
doing
and
this to
hold
the
on, listen,
inmates,
and if you have
yeah,
one stacked on top of you, it's a lot harder to make parole.
most definitely, most definitely, yeah, you might end up doing 90% of your sentence,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what I'm
before you
saying.
make parole.
This is some serious I think had we came out and we talked about this a little bit more about it being the defeated the raising the white flag that they surrender, they're defeated, they don't know what to do. Maybe they would have thought about it a little bit more, right? Because they thought, I think somewhere in an office building somewhere in a dark room, they're probably smoking cigars. They thought this was a good idea. You know what I mean? Like I really
Yeah, you're probably right.
so let me say this and see if you agree or not. I don't know. You don't have to, of course. But you know the
Right.
attitude that they look at inmates. They look at it as like scum, as dirt, as the shit on the bottom of their shoe. In all reality, and I mean, not just the guards, the everybody, even to a certain extent, the general public, right? So to them, they're like, hey, if we got to sacrifice one every now and then to clean up these prisons, we don't care. If they're dumb enough to be the one that
Yeah.
sacrifices themselves, so be it. That's what we're looking at right here. You know what I mean? And it's like you said, it's a no-brainer that it's gonna happen. Like I just don't understand this,
Yes,
man.
sir.
It's crazy to me.
It is. And, so you have a drug problem. You don't know what to do about it. You're trying anything and everything. You come up with this great idea. Well, just let the inmates beat it out of them, you know. And then, but what about the inmates that beat somebody too badly and injure them real bad? And then you want to give them extra time too. What if they go too far and they kill them? The person dies. Somebody could always just fall down and hit their head, anything like that. And then you want to give these people life sentences when you encourage this stuff.
Yeah. So the thing that I was hearing about it, right? Because I have a very close friend that was on one of these 5 prisons where they was trying it, is that before the 15 days up, a whole lot of time these dudes are slashing their wrists and they're trying to unalive themselves because they're scared of what's gonna happen after the lockdown. So now you didn't force them, but you basically incited violence by the inmates and gave somebody a good reason to cut his own self up and take his life. You know what I mean? Like it gets worse and worse the longer you talk
And
about it.
here's another angle. Yeah, here's another angle on it. What about the tried and true addict, the person who has a very serious addiction, even a dependency upon these drugs they've been smoking for so long, because they'll go through these severe withdrawals and stuff without them. You know, not justifying their usage, but I'm saying these people, they almost physically cannot stop, right? And instead of treating drug problems, rehabilitation, which is part of TDCJ's mission statement, and instead you want them to get their head stomped in.
Ain't that something?
That's not rehabilitation.
Ain't
That's
that
not
something?
solving the problem. Yeah, that's not
It's,
solving the problem at all, man.
it's, it's, it's
Yeah,
not,
why
man.
don't you actually get down to solving the problem?
That's what I'm getting at. I think they gave up. They surrendered. They can't solve it. You know what I'm saying?
They
It's done
gave up. They
trying,
need to get out of business and let somebody else run it. Yeah.
right? They're trying to ban all private prisons.
Yeah.
Maybe they all need to be
If they
private
gave up, they
prisons.
need to get out of the way.
You feel me? Like, yeah, they do. They really
You
do.
know, I had an opinion. My opinion at first was against private prisons, just on general principle, because they're for profit. So you're just making money off of inmates, which they do. But at the same time, somebody pointed out to me, most inmates, if given a choice, they would love to go to a private prison. They got air conditioning, the food is better, they got weight rooms, the recreation's better, you always get rec, they're fully staffed.
Yeah.
Everything
Yep.
is better. It's better ran.
Hey, I've
So
been
I
to
had to be like,
two private prisons that's exactly how you described it too. It was better. You know it? Like, yeah, that was federal shit, but the
yeah.
commissary was way better. They had you went twice a week to commissary. You never missed a turn. I mean, man, it was like
Yep.
unbelievable difference. Had 3 rec yards. You know, it was like first class. Then I went to FDC Houston later, which was the federally ran detention center type thing, and it was like sitting in a county jail. No activity,
Culture
terrible, fed
shift.
you
Yeah.
horrible. Yeah, like the. So I mean, I guess the thing about the private prisons, right, is that do they have even less oversight? Like, is nobody watching what goes on if they decide to turn abusive? Why are they against these private prisons though?
Not from what I've heard. You know, from what I've heard they're fully staffed. So they shouldn't have no oversight issues unless you're talking about like auditor type
Yeah, that's
oversight.
what I'm talking about.
And then
Like
I'm
people
not really
making sure
sure.
they're doing what they do.
If they're a for-profit business though, then there has to be some type of oversight, right? Like Better Business Bureau
True.
type stuff or something. Yeah. You know,
True.
and then you think about the massive idea. Well, if that's the case, man, what would Texas look like if we privatized the entire TDCJ? You know, TDCJ is going to fight it tooth and nail. But what would that look like? I really don't know.
So in all reality, I think if the feds ever really got motivated, they would find reasons to take this over due to the lack of staff and to everything that's, the problems in it is enough. I don't think it'll ever happen, but I believe that would be the
Easy.
only real answer, man, is the feds take it over.
I mean, there's so many units, like every single red brick unit in Texas. You know, the building
Oh, he froze up on us, y'all. He'll be right back.
should be.
He's freezing up on. He's freezing up on me if you can hear me.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Okay.
he froze up pretty bad. Last thing I heard was red brick building.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Uh-oh. He said he just got fiber optic
Oh,
Wi-Fi.
every
today.
single red brick building in the state of Texas. Yeah. Yeah. Working out the kinks. Well, I was saying any reasonable building inspector would be able to condemn every single red brick unit in the state of Texas. They're old, they're decrepit, they don't meet no building codes or standards. Yeah, they need to be done with.
You know what you could probably find in every single one of them that could close it down if anybody was allowed to go look? Black mold.
Black mold. Yeah.
Black
Yeah.
mold's all
No,
over
they
in
say
prisons.
almost every inmate. They say almost every inmate that gets out of prison, they have sinus problems when they get out, and that may be one of the reasons.
Yeah, shit, yeah, hell yeah. It's everything is.
I do.
We're talking about concrete and brick buildings, man. They sweat, they get nasty. You know what I'm saying? There's places up in the ceiling inside the cell block that ain't been dusted off, ain't no cobwebs been knocked down since 1800s type shit. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's so black mold is one of them. Just all kind of things. You know what I mean? Imagine, say, listen, if you're watching this, imagine being one of those people with terrible allergies, and they send you to a cell block that's a building inside of a building on them old spots, and then it still has concrete dust from when it was built on top of the roof. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's dirty, it's nasty,
Yeah.
spiders, crazy
Yeah.
shit. And then the windows stay open 24 hours a day. Imagine you being a sinus person in that place. You know what?
Cats running around. All prisons have cats. Yeah.
Imagine being allergic to
Yeah.
cats and you go into a cell block that people got cats and they'll kill you behind their
Yeah.
cat.
Pet
They love their
cats.
cat.
They will.
Yeah.
They're serious.
Yeah, that's what
It's
I'm
like they're
saying.
children.
Imagine moving in with Big Bubba on the block. You're this little guy. You just got a DWI case, and you're allergic to cats, and he got one. This is the type of reality of
Yeah.
shit we're talking about in this life. You know what I mean?
It sounds crazy, but it could really happen.
Hell yeah. Say, so check this out. Something I wanted to talk about too. Uh, there was an article that Ashlyn had posted maybe about a week ago on Facebook, and I looked at it. Right, I clicked on it. I was bored. I'm like, man, let me see what this is. So I was reading a story, and it's a true story. Now, rest in peace to this guy. I don't know what his situation was, what his charge was. It didn't even say if he was white, black, Hispanic. He had one of them names where you couldn't really tell which race he was, right? But the real story was he was G5, and he was G5 with a guy that was abusing him, a guy that was bullying him, right? Do you know when this man died? You know what the autopsy said? It said he died of some head trauma and malnutrition. His cellmate literally starved him to death in there and didn't let him eat.
Man. Man, that's brutal, man. That's
That's
heartless.
brutal. I mean,
That's heartless, man.
and not one guard asked him, "Yo, man, why you looking like you're in a concentration camp right now?" The dude was 6 foot something tall, and I think when he passed, he weighed 118 pounds. This is
Man,
the real
bro.
life. This is the real life we're talking about. And then that thing that actually called the attention to them, yeah, was head trauma. The man had literally beaten on him. So while this is happening, people have to think about real life now. You're locked in these blocks. G5 is what, 23-1. And a lot of days that's gonna be 24. You're gonna just
Yes.
stay in there because they're short of staff, or
Yes.
they're just lazy. They don't give a damn, right? They don't care about you getting your recreation. If you
I'll
talk
give you
shit,
an
they skip
extra
your meal. Yeah,
shower.
yeah, buy your recreation too, something like that. I'd take that all
Yeah.
day though.
Yeah.
That's a good deal for me.
Yeah, they do that.
Yeah, give me the
Yeah.
give me the tray all day. You know what I'm saying? But I'm
Yeah.
saying, like, you're in here with somebody though the whole time. Like, you have a cellmate that you don't get to pick. You know what I'm saying? Like, you do not get to pick
Yeah.
this
That's
cellmate.
worse than SEG.
10 times worse than SEG to me. You know what I'm saying? The federal shoe, I had to have a cellmate, bro. My first cellmate in the shoe was a black dude named O-Face that was from like College Station or something. O-Face was literally on the spectrum, right? He was slow. He didn't want to talk. Hey, all day, bro, he would just get in the mirror and just rock back and forth and look at himself. And I'm in here with this dude. I got a broken shoulder. I got broken ribs. I'm like, can't even fight right now, right? I'm like thinking, man, am I even safe in here with this mental patient? I don't know what's going on. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
this is crazy time right now. You know, like this is me not even being able to defend myself against a man, and y'all just threw me in here with this guy, and then I realized he's got mental problems.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, this is the situation that it gets us into. You know, so that story, oh man, about that man getting starved to death out his cellmate, by his cellmate, is probably one of the number one cruel things I can think of, because that was a slow death right there.
Yeah. Bad.
How long does
And
that
just
even
ate
take?
in front of them. Just ate in front of them, man. How bad
So
is that?
imagine this. Look, imagine this. He don't let them eat for 3 days, and then gives them some bread and some vegetables or something just to keep them alive, so he can starve them for 3 more days. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, this could have went on forever.
For
We don't
months.
even know that. Yeah, months of slow torturing this man. And So here's my question to you though. Why don't you think that man did something to that man while he was asleep? You think that guy was, because listen, he might could have been sleeping with a knife tied to his hand. Who knows? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that dude was that scared. Maybe the dude deep down wanted to die. What do you think the guy that was being starved thought that time all that time?
Well, I think two things, bro. One about each of them. For the guy that was being starved, he was scared, for one, obviously. But for two, even in a bad situation, man, a lot of people don't have it in them to actually stick somebody or even to hit somebody with a baseball bat or something like that. When it comes down to it, they just freeze up. They just don't have it in them. Some do, but many don't. And I imagine he was scared, and he might have been one of them type.
Man,
My
bro,
other
I don't
thought,
think. Listen, hold on. You ever heard the stories about the guys whose legs gets caught in a bear trap and they end up cutting it off with a pocket knife? At
yeah,
that point, your whole
survival.
body is stuck in that bear trap, man. I don't. That's what I'm not. I'm not trying to judge this man or make light of it or even call him
Yeah,
a coward. I'm trying to understand where was his survival instincts, right? Like if the man has a knife and you're starving me to death, bro, I just got to let you go to sleep and put my entire body weight on both my thumbs in your eyes or something. I don't know what I got to do. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously I don't have a weapon in there. You know what I'm saying? I don't. At this point, I gotta try something, bro. I'm just saying, I just can't let you
yeah,
starve me out for months. Surely for 10 minutes during these
yeah.
months, I'm fixing to get brave. But it didn't happen.
No,
That's how real this shit is. And who knows who
yeah.
that
You're
other
just
man
gonna have to
was.
beat me up every day.
I mean, just go ahead and kill me
Yeah,
fast before you starve me to
yeah.
death.
You're just gonna have to beat me up every day.
So I really want to say, I believe in our reality, he probably was sexually abusing the man also. You know what I'm saying? So it probably just broke his spirit, dog. He probably was just ready to pass on and go away. There's only so much a man can take. You know what I mean?
Man, what a terrible thought.
Hey, this is not the life you want, y'all. I'm not trying to laugh about it, but it's real, right? Like they'll lock you in this cell. This man already has a knife. You just got back there. You don't know what the hell's going on. He whips it out on you, and he's already probably killed somebody once in his life, maybe twice. You know what I mean? No.
That's my
So
other thought about the bully. The bully, man, he might not have went into prison being that bad, being that sadistic. You know, Prison oftentimes makes people worse than what they are. Instead of rehabilitating you, it makes you into a worse version of yourself. Sometimes the worst possible version.
yeah, I have a question for you that you're one of the people that I know can answer because prison at one time, they asked us in a comment earlier. Prison at one time in Texas was 1000% only about punishment. That's all it was. There was no rehabilitation, no shit, no nothing. They made it hard to go to school. If you went to school, you still had to work in the fields. They worked 8-hour days back then, or sometimes till the sun went down. Like it's never been easy. Now I'm seeing like, listen, they have that class that my man Dave was in, some of the prison entrepreneur program. They have uh the faith-based dorms. They have maybe other things you can remind me of, like progression. Since you did 25 years, tell me the progression. Is the attitude still today in 2025? Because this man has just got out, y'all. He did 25 years and he's fresh to the world. Is the attitude in there still now by the COs in the system 1000% punishment? Or are they serious really about some of these programs? Like, if you trying to get yourself together, can you?
Both. Both are actually true. Yes, there's many COs that are still 100% about punishment, but they're individuals. They're not COs as a whole, you know. And as far as rehabilitation, man, there's a lot more classes, courses, opportunities that are available. Many of them, you have to jump through a lot of loops. But the thing is, none of these programs are given to you or brought to you. You have to go seek this stuff out for yourself. That's the only way you're going to get it.
Right. And so,
Yeah.
I mean, like if I'm somewhere, if I'm Ferguson or Beto or something, what do? I start writing I-60s. I start shooting letters to people. How do they let these loved ones know what are their people in
Yes.
there they need to get on their ass to do?
the one thing that they're going to do for you is if you don't have a GED, they're going to put you in GED class as long as you're a GP inmate. You're that's an automatic. You're required to be in GED class. Beyond that, though, if you want, if you want to take a trade, if you want to further your education, if you want to get into these vocational classes and such, you have to submit to the school counselor
It's freezing up on us. It
to
might gets all the good shit.
do this stuff. And if it's on to hunt to get a shot.
Man, you froze up for that whole spiel, dog. That shit is crazy.
Did you hear that, bro? Or did it cut me off?
The whole spiel.
Okay.
I heard you say school counselor, and that was it.
Okay. Yes. Anything beyond a GED, if you want to take vocations, trades, college, you need to send I-60s to the school counselor. That's who signs you up for that stuff. And then you just sit back and wait, and you kind of forget about it. And it may take 2 or 3 years, sometimes 3 or 4 years to go to a college. But if you got the time, and then you got to stay out of trouble between here and there.
Yeah, that's something that's like almost like an oxymoron, right? Like, we'll send you to college, but you got to have a long ass bid to get there. Like, what the fuck is the point of this type shit? Almost like, well, I gotta stay out of trouble and can't have no fun in here and all this shit to go to college, and I might not never use it. Like, is that? I mean, man, that's rough right there. You just have to be one of the men that want to be better for yourself, I guess. You know, like you said, you have to want it, huh?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yes. So you either get approved for a grant self, or in some situations, they'll let you pay for it after you get out of prison while you're on parole. It'll become part of your parole fee.
I heard about that. So hold on. If I make it through parole without paying, do I still owe them?
Yes. They might violate you if you don't pay it.
Oh, for real? Yeah. See, it's some boys better think about what they're doing then, because they're putting a lot of responsibility on themselves. You know it?
Yeah, they want that money. Like I what do you call it? I was eligible for what they call the youthful offender grant, because I caught my case when I was 17 years old. I got to prison at 18 years old. So I'm eligible for this youthful offender grant until they changed up the guidelines on it. And they said, if you have a murder case, amongst other things, then you were no longer eligible for this grant. So they just killed me.
For real?
Yeah, they just mowed me down.
That's bullshit. They should have grandfathered y'all in if you were already, trying to make something happen there. There goes another something that'll sidetrack your whole bid right there. You know, a lot of people crash out behind something like that.
Absolutely. That's the one goal I ever set for myself in prison that I didn't achieve. College.
Yeah. Hey, it ain't too late.
No, it ain't too late. I plan on it.
Yeah. It's just something online courses. Job, but it's something you can do for fun type shit. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for yourself, the same way somebody would in there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Look forward to it.
Yeah. So look, to change the speed a little bit, I was telling you that I talked to a friend of mine today that said a chain bus drive. So, chain bus got a driver, then it's got the person with the gun or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if it was the driver or the person with the gun, but the bus pulled into UTMB hospital, and the U.S. Marshals got one of the damn TDCJ guards today. Right. And that hadn't been on the news. I don't think it'll be on the news or nothing, but I want y'all to imagine this. Being on that bus, being shackled, you know what I'm saying, or tied, handcuffed to your friend actually on there, or whoever that is next to you, and the bus gets surrounded by U.S. Marshals. y'all as inmates gonna think they're there for y'all. Y'all thinking y'all about
Come
to
on.
catch chain to the feds or something. They get the driver off the bus and take him to jail. Now, isn't that wild?
Yep. What I do now.
Are you good? You good? Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what they been thinking. Exactly. Everybody there is like, shit. Who they here for? And it's the damn guard. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And no, it wasn't one of the Telford Seven. This was somebody down here in Galveston. So that's Telford is far as hell. So speaking of that, tell me what happened today, because you was telling me on Telford unit. That was big news. It's gonna be all over the media tomorrow.
Yes, there's a lot of stuff happening right now, and it's all coinciding together. There's like three different things that are all coming together at the same time. Like, call it synchronicity, right? First and foremost, 7 officers were arrested on the Telford unit today for running a drug ring, for bringing drugs into the prison for profit. And this includes a captain, from a captain on down to the COs. You know, there's 7 of them sitting in jail right now. And apparently they're going to give it to the DA and try to press charges on them. You know, prosecute the officers just like you do the inmates. That'll be a big deterrent for the 90% of the drugs in prison. They're coming into prison from either officers, teachers, nurses, volunteers. Very little in visitation. Very, very little. 90% of it is the guards. So how are you going to stop that?
So I
This is a
didn't.
big step.
So listen, I didn't know about this story. Somebody sent me a screenshot of it earlier, and I forgot to read about it. So he told me about a little bit about it, but I'm just now hearing that it was a captain involved too. Are you serious?
Oh
I didn't know
yeah.
that. So what this
Yes.
means, y'all, think about this. Captain got the ability to assign who works where, everything else. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we need a duffel bag, throw it over the fence. We'll make sure this guy's working perimeter. This guy's on yard going out there to, you know what I'm saying, to
Mm-hmm.
pick the
There you
pickup.
go.
Like, if you have the captain involved in it, they
There
had the
you go.
easiest operation that ever existed. Can you imagine how much money they made?
How many years? Yeah.
How many years, huh? He's
Yeah.
been in the system for a long time. He was a sergeant at one time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he worked his way up. How did he just start this? You know, it says captain, sergeant,
Yeah. How many
MCOT. I
years
don't
has he
even
been
know what
dirty?
that is.
It's actually
Enforce,
a female.
is it?
I think all 7 of them might be females. Yeah,
The
that's
pictures
crazy.
I seen a picture of 3 of them, and they were females. They were black females. Yeah. So
Yeah.
with being that
I've seen
said,
all the mug shots. They're
hold
all
on,
women.
listen to this. Can we talk a little bit about the prison economy though, and how much money flows through this shit, and how much money these people can make? So the guards themselves, there was one that got caught, I think, on Bill Clemens' unit last year. I did a story about. They tracked over $300,000 through her Cash App and her other forms of electronic payment before she got caught. Right. That's not speaking on how much cash money
Yep.
she received out in the
Yep.
gas station parking lot in the free world, or whatever she had other people getting cashed
Mm-hmm.
out because they get other people to do it. Like,
Side hustles.
it's possible all 7 of these people got $1 million stashed up under their house in the backyard in a suitcase.
Yes. I know the biggest drug in prison is K2. There's other drugs. There's pretty much everything you can imagine in there, but probably the most prevalent one in prison is K2. And K2 can go for $1,000 for a page, one sheet of paper, 1,200, 1,500. It just depends. Most of the time, they won't sell you a whole page. You know, they're going to sell you ID size clippings for $150 a pop. And there's 12 of those on a page, 12
Mm-hmm.
IDs.
Mm-hmm.
So 12 times 150, and you're banking. I used to
1,800.
watch my neighbor. I seen my neighbor make $10,000 a month, like it was just easy. He didn't even have to work for it. The stuff sold itself.
It
Real
does. It's
talk.
like, yeah, it's like paper crack, man. You know what I'm saying? I
Real
watched a
talk.
guy. There was a guy in the feds. They got busted, so I don't mind talking about it. They was on the same prison. It was a dude and his stepdaddy, and they was making $10,000 a week.
Yeah.
Real $10,000 a week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Had people that was, so they took a little bit of less of the profit towards there because they started letting other people handle the business. It was too much. But
Yeah.
I watched them make, but not only did I watch them make $10,000 a week, there was a bunch of people doing it, right? The Mexican dudes were doing it, the black dudes were doing it, some of the white guys were doing it. Then guess what? The guys running the parlay boards, the guys running the we had poker tables like and you know the shotgun boards, all that shit, man.
Yeah.
You got parlays that run unit wide.
Yeah.
Not just a dorm wide where these dudes are betting $10 card, whatever they want on the picks, and they're losing all day. Them dudes are barely paying out. I watched
Yeah.
the guy on my wing that ran that parlay board go home damn near rich, free world rich almost. He sat in there about 9 years running them gambling boards. He had well, we
Yeah.
had 12 blocks over there, right? It was 12 wings, and he had a man working in every single wing for him, plus a man in ours. So he had 12
Yeah.
employees, real life employees in here that were running these odds and cards. They hand draw out the cards. He
Yeah.
shoot one little ticket down. They had to draw the ticket out over and over and over again. Basically, they was like his human copy machines. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. But he
Yeah,
would
I've
make
seen
a
it a
couple
bunch of times.
thousand every weekend. Yeah, they was playing with real money, man.
Mhm.
Like real live money. People don't understand
Yeah.
this shit. Like so the economy in
Yeah.
there,
The pick'ems.
right? Yeah, yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So the
Pick'em.
economy's
Yeah.
so much money in there, and then it's inflation. It's prison inflation where these drugs go for so much more than they do in the free world, right? Like that shit you're talking about, they're
Yes.
making $1,800 off of would probably be like a smoker out here would smoke that up in like 10 minutes. No bullshit. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Yeah. That'd be
But
like $2. That'd be like $2 or $5 or something out here. Nothing at all.
right, right,
Real
right.
talk.
So
And then think about this. There's so much money. There's so much money in prison, but where are they getting all that money? But you got to think a lot of these guys were dope dealers and stuff before they went to prison. Some of them actually had the sense to put some money up, rainy day fund or something,
yeah,
But many, I don't know, if I had to guess, maybe half or more, many of these people, man, they depend on their family and loved ones, and they be lying to them about what they need money for. I'm gonna buy this guy's commissary from him. I'm gonna buy a pair of shoes, and man, all the while, man, they done got addicted and spun out.
so that ain't the bad ones. That's crazy, but that's not the bad one. The bad ones are that call grandma and tell her, grandma, if you don't wire $500, these guys are gonna kill me.
They gonna
Grandma,
kill me.
hold on, look, grandma don't know what to think. So first of all, grandma's like, don't send the 500, right? She's like, I'm not sure. So then Dauphine Bobby or Billy or whatever the fuck his name is now, he really wants his money, so he gives grandma's number to his homeboy. And his homeboy calls grandma and says, yo, if you don't get this $500, I'm gonna kill him. Now grandma's scared to fucking death. Grandma's like really worried little kid is gonna be killed, and he's in on the scam the whole time. That's when I started hearing about that shit, that's when I knew the game was gone.
Damn, bro, that's so bad.
Yeah, that's happened
That's
to a
so
lot of
bad.
people. I know several
Yeah.
people that have fell victim to this. Other people talked about doing it. Like, yeah, the game is crazy, man. Like, it goes back to what you're talking about, the physical addiction. So, let me ask you something else. Did you personally ever witness anybody doing anything strange for that shit? Like straight guys doing something crazy for it? Because I've heard stories, right? But in the feds, I personally didn't know that
Yeah.
was happening. I don't know if that's real or not. Like, I hope it ain't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is absolutely real. Two things come to mind. Off the top. One of them is just kind of funny. They had to say, I've seen guys, they'll make them do stupid stuff to give them they don't call it a joint, they call it a stick, right? To give them a stick, one stick, right? One little pinner, and get in the middle of the day room or stand on the table and do 10 Beyoncés. And you
Yeah.
can imagine what a Beyonce is. He
I
gonna get
remember.
up there and he gonna shake his butt around for the whole day room, right? And everybody's gonna laugh at him, maybe throw stuff at him. He's gonna make a fool of himself. And that's a PG-13 one. These guys
Right.
are made to do really stupid, demeaning, ridiculous stuff for a little bit of dope, for like one joint, and they'll do it. Another thought, though, on a more serious note, is I knew a guy on one unit, and he had a bad K2 addiction. He was a tune head. He got sent to a McConnell unit, and he's on McConnell, and I hear about him being on medium custody, and him and his cellie are getting high, and he gets tuned out, and he's like, only half conscious, and they told me his cellie raped him while he's tuned out, and he can't even defend himself or nothing. He high as a kite.
So with that being said,
crazy,
pay
bro.
attention to what he said. Ashlyn saying tune tards. Say, man, listen, I'm gonna say something. That's a real accurate name, but there's a lot of real cats in there that are solid individuals that were good people. They're criminals, but I'm saying stand up dudes that would never do no shit like that if this drug wasn't so foul. And they're breaking under the stress and the pressure of this to try to escape reality, so they're willing to try it. And the next thing you know, it's possible they're doing Beyonce's on the table in the day room. Okay. But let me ask you something about this, Shannon. Since I was in the feds when it was happening, right? They had a rule, everybody had a damn rule that don't freak out in that day room. Like, so what's fixing to happen in Texas, in my opinion, and they're not gonna be able to stop the substances. Never are they going to be able to stop them, because when there's demand, there's supply. When there's supply, there's demand. It goes hand in hand, right? So, but what I'm saying is, in the feds, the Tongos, the Paisas, the Serenos, all these hard-hitting cliques that were very, very shit. Their rule was you only smoke that at night when the cell is locked. If we got a 2-hour count time, fire it up as soon as the doors close. You know what I'm saying? Don't be in the day room smoking.
Behind
Don't be crazy.
doors or something.
Right. If you trip out, ain't nobody gonna ask for no help. We know you're tripping out.
Yeah, they do that in Texas.
Right. So that's what they're gonna have to start doing. But here's my question for you. The other day on Facebook, y'all make sure y'all follow Texas prison stories. They doing, well, that's what I'm saying. It's gonna be mandatory now. I don't think it's gonna be no smoking out in the day room no more system wide. It's over. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to go in your cell and trip. But listen what I'm saying. So I uploaded a video on the Texas Prison Stories Facebook. Right. Look, on the Facebook, there's a video of a dude who's laying on the ground. He's incoherent, but he's like sobering up as he comes. They start talking after a minute, and then they kind of, slowly come back to reality. He's in the middle. He's trapped in those cobwebs, but he can still talk. And they're harassing the shit out this man. They just turn him into a game. They're not really gonna hurt him. They're just like they're demeaning them, belittling them, and at the end, like telling them, "Get out of my house." You know what I mean? Like, but the people that watch this, there's so many comments. That video had a lot of views, and there's so many comments. People calling them evil, demons, devils. Why would they do this? These horrible people. And I'm steady thinking, well, he knew what was gonna happen when he smoked the shit. Like, who are these evil devil people for playing with him, do you think? I mean, is he stupid for smoking in public? Is it both? Like, how do we explain this to people that's never been in prison? Because I couldn't figure it out.
He's definitely stupid for smoking in public, especially if he knew he couldn't handle it. But at the same time, the people picking on him, man, they say, man, boys got a rough sense of humor in prison, man. It's not necessarily evil. If they weren't actually hurting him, man, we talk real bad, real crazy to each other. We got a really rough sense of humor. And you're in such a dark, ugly place every day. Man, you do anything for a laugh. So I can see it. I mean, is it really cool? Not really. But do I understand it? Yeah, I do. They're gonna make, I've made fun of plenty of people that were having tune attacks. They're obviously not dying. They're just tripping out and acting a fool. I've seen a guy puke all over the place and then drag himself through the pools of vomit back and forth across the day room. I've seen all kinds of stupid stuff, man. Yeah, we just
man.
Trip out and laugh.
Nobody makes me laugh or even smile too goddamn much. You just made me do both with that one, man. That I can picture some motherfucker army crawling, his legs still stuck while he's dragging his goddamn legs, man. This is bad.
That's right. Oh, a worse one? I'll tell you a worse one, man. I didn't see it myself. My friend told me about it. He came off of a stale unit. The LS2 unit.
Mm-hmm.
They call it a stale unit now. It's most kind of medical problems, cancers and colonoscopy bags and all kinds of stuff, man. But they got a bunch of tune in there, and they going down through every day. And he said they got some really strong stuff. He said that these dudes will hit that stuff and they'll run to the restroom and they'll either start puking or start squirting out the back end, sometimes at the same time. And then he said, now get this. Imagine 3 or 4 dudes doing this at the same time, all trying to use the same toilet.
We've done it before. My whole pod had, listen, my whole pod one time had food poisoning. And it was like a very short lack of or shortage of toilet paper. Right? Food poisoning with a shortage of toilet paper, puking, throwing up. Yeah, it comes to the point where you're now taking a shit and you gotta jump into the shower after every boo-boo. That just is what it is. We're out of toilet paper. People's using socks, cutting up pants, shirts, whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah, no, it really gets like that. But see, so what you're talking about though, so people that don't understand about this K2 stuff, the withdrawals that you go through are exactly like a heroin withdrawal, exactly like a fentanyl withdrawal, exactly the exact same thing, but it can last 3 and 4 times longer and it's more intense, right? It's that bad. So when you stop, so I've witnessed this with my own eyes. This I've seen multiple times where guys are trying to stop. Then somebody fires up a stick around them. They have been stopped detoxing. They're over with. Like, they're feeling better. As soon as they smell that stick, they're running to the toilet with it coming out of both ends. You know what I'm saying? The whole detox time is vomiting and diarrhea, no sleeping, anxiety. The drug gives you this awful, crazy anxiety. It's a horrible shit. It's man-made to do this to us at this point now. It's chemical warfare. You know what I mean?
And most of them, I'll see them. They'll go buy or trade something for some K2, for some sticks or whatever it is, and they'll run to the house or maybe in the day room before they can even roll up a stick and get ready to light it and get high. They got to go sit on the toilet first.
Yeah,
just because it affects them like that. I don't know if it's excitement or I don't know what it is. But
listen,
they got to sit down first before they even get started.
Crackheads, same way. They'll just get close to the dope house and their stomachs just start hurting. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about a level of drug like this, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm saying it, I'm describing it. I'm trying to make people realize this shit is horrible because so many people on the flip side, bro, what we're talking about, these inmates doing this crazy shit, extorting people. Do you know it's so new, Shannon, that nobody's family understands what they're dealing with in there. This is not weed. This ain't something you just set down, right? It's a long-term commitment the first time you smoke.
Which is very misleading because they called it synthetic marijuana. It's nothing like marijuana. There's no comparison.
No. It's something like a psychoactive opiate that you smoke. It's a cross between.
That sounds accurate.
Yeah, no, I've thought about this for a long time. It's a psychoactive opiate, and it's the only one that we know of in this world right now. Like you any other opiate, we're talking oxys, Vicodins, fentanyl, heroin, this new car fentanyl stuff, all that stuff does the same shit. It puts you to sleep, right? You're gonna do all this trippy, crazy shit, and then just pass out. Like, where's some of the craziest places you remember seeing people passed out? You ever seen anybody just passed out on the stairs? I have.
Yeah. Torres unit. Yeah. How about that? I'll put them out there. Torres unit. It was terrible, bro. It's a youngster farm. They average about 25 years old. The gangland, zombie land. Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah. So somebody just asked in the comments they're watching on Facebook, and we are live on. Make sure y'all follow type in Texas Prison Stories on Facebook. Y'all follow the page too, because I'm able to put videos on Facebook that I can't put on YouTube, and I got a lot of them through the time that people have sent me, and y'all might want to
Double
check it
tap.
out. So, yes, sir. So look, this what Miss Ruth wants to know, and you know I never contemplated this, and I'm gonna say none. What are the effects of secondary smoke of K2? So I've never heard of, like, I don't think nobody's ever got high standing next to nobody, have they?
I don't think so either. And I've been in that situation where I've been sober and my celly is chiefing all night
Me
long, even
too.
while I'm asleep. He like every hour, every 30 minutes. And now I never got high. I mean,
Nah,
smoke's not good for you to breathe, but you're
right.
not getting high.
So the
Yeah.
secondary problem of K2 is if you're celly smoking and being weird on your ass and you don't know what's going on, you know. So listen, one of my homeboys actually, we had a situation on the unit, dog, where he was coming to chow and he was telling us that, hey, I'm about to have a problem down here with this dude from another car. I'm just letting y'all know, if some, pay attention, because these dudes might try to, I'm finna do, basically saying I'm finna do something to this man from another car that's in his cell, and it's all over K2. And I'm like, damn, man. Like, he's now putting our life in risk. We're a four-man car, right? He's putting our life at risk now. Like, what? Because if he sticks somebody down there, they're going to know. They got phones and everything else. They're going to know what. By the time the doors pop again, one of us probably going to get it. You know what I mean? So that's how it really goes. But his whole situation was his cellmate told him no more smoking in the cell. And he told us, look, man, I did all this time. I've been gone years. I ain't let a man tell me nothing yet. I'm not finna let him tell me what I can do in this cell. I've been in the same cell for some years. There's no damn way. And the dude was serious about it. But here's where the shit got faulty, Shannon. Listen, his plan was to sit down on the stool right there while the man sitting on his bunk or wherever he's at, sit on the toilet and fire up the stick. When he gets up to even trip about it, it's just on, right? And all I'm thinking about, bitch, once you fire up the stick and hit the motherfucker, you're gonna be stuck. You're about to get your ass mollywopped and mop the floors with you because you're now high on this bullshit. How is this a good plan?
For real.
You know what I mean? What kind of dope fiend ass plan is
That's great
this?
thinking, right?
Bro, roll up some tea bag, dump a tea
For
bag
real,
out, roll it
bro.
up,
You're
fire it up,
spot on.
and what the fuck kind of plan is this? This is like the real type shit
Hey,
that people are
yeah,
thinking, and like what? But there
yeah,
are
not
people
thinking
in
at
there
all.
that will
Yeah,
tell you, you ain't smoking that shit in my cell. But no, it ain't. You know what I'm
I've
saying?
seen it.
Hey, bro, there's been times where people say you ain't using it, you gotta go use the fucking day room toilet. You know what? People, we just talked about a cellmate that starved his cellmate to death, bro. This man has told the other guys, you gotta go use the toilet in the fucking day room. You ain't using this bitch. Got a man shitting in the damn day room, dog. It gets that serious. So with all this being
Yeah,
said, let's
yeah,
twist back to the rule change going system wide.
yeah.
Indictments and murders and suicides
We're
be
on the same
damned.
track.
Listen, yeah, as indictments, suicides, and murders be damned, is this now gonna make prison better? When they get the message, I'm about to get my ass fucked for doing this, like, is now it's gonna be a better place?
Yes. Look at this. Just this morning, today, April the 9th, okay? 8 a.m. this morning, Austin, Texas, House of Representatives, Committee on Corrections, which is over TDCJ. They listened to a House bill in session this morning. It's House Bill 3464. Okay. I watched the video streaming live. And what this bill is introducing, proposing to put into law, is this exact stuff we're talking about. Prosecuting officers, anybody that introduces drugs into the prison system. If you get caught, your ass getting that charge. Okay. And the DA is going to prosecute. And yes, I think this will be a huge deterrent, to the people bringing it in. Because right now it's just quick. They're going to walk me off the unit. They're going to make me quit or they're going to fire me. Whoop-de-doo.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But now I might end up in one of these cells. Yeah, it's a game
So
changer, bro.
let me say
There's
something,
still
since I
some that are
know.
going to do it, but
No, yeah, convict ballerina salute, my friend. Yeah, So here's what I'm thinking, right? And this is being realistic. This devil's advocate, this coming from the convict side, and not proper thinking. But okay,
Yeah.
I work in a prison. I got the same. So once upon a time in my life, I was willing to take penitentiary chances all day out here to make money. Right? That's how I end up getting in trouble. Man, them are humans too. They're still going to be willing to take that penitentiary chance. And what's really the real truth of what happens, bro, is if they catch that case, none of them are convicted felons, or they wouldn't be working in the prison. They got a shot in their mind. Hey, I'm gonna make this $1 million. I'm gonna have this 300 grand on my cash app, 700,000 buried somewhere, and if I get caught, I'm just getting probation. I don't even care. And that's what the convicts are gonna tell them. You know, you're just gonna get probation. You're gonna have all that money.
That might be true, bro. That might be true. If nothing else, though, the percentage of them that are willing to bring it in is going to shrink at
It
least
will.
somewhat.
It will. A lot.
You know?
A lot. A lot. That F
Yeah.
word shakes people when they hear felony, because
Yeah.
they know, hey, they're gonna change their life for 5 years or whatever, 10 years of this shit. Like
Yeah.
it's serious. And
Yeah.
I would say the not everybody, like, yeah, you went 17 on a murder case. Obviously, you weren't on probation, but a high percentage of people in prison violated probation to get there the first time.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah,
I had
they did.
probation before that on
Oh, did
different
you?
stuff. But yeah.
See
Well,
what
I
I'm
went to
saying?
TYC. So I got out of TYC on TYC parole. Yeah.
Right, right. Somebody, Miss Patty said they also said they want to try them for murder if an inmate dies. Now that, they just passed some laws based on that case that actually happened in Galveston, where you couldn't be responsible for the death of somebody if you sold them some drugs in Texas. You could get the delivery charge if they could prove you sold them, but you wouldn't get that. I know they changed that, but I don't, unless somebody had a direct snitch, like say we bought this from Officer Smith this day and then smoked it and he died. I don't think they'll ever be able to tie a certain drug, because we're talking 7 officers. They were all bringing in shit for themselves. Probably what it was, they probably all were doing shit themselves, and every one of them knew they had to break that captain off. If you want to know the truth, you know what? Do you think it was like a mafia organized crime ring, or what I
Yeah.
said? All 7 of them going different directions, and he just taxing their ass.
No, I think it was organized crime,
You
more
think they
likely
had
than not. Yeah.
probably, like I said to begin with, then him putting them in the places where it can happen,
Yeah.
huh?
I do.
Yeah. So all the time, people that
You want to
go
know
visit,
another? You want to know another little thing about them same officers?
yeah,
I heard about today. There was a video put out on, I guess, Facebook or something, man, showing on Telford unit this dude getting beat up on the run, and he takes off running, and he runs downstairs like trying to catch that button, trying to get out, and they chase him all the way to beat him up, right? Even down there in front of the door, they beat him up, right? And it went on Facebook. Somebody recorded it on a cell phone. And this lady emails us, and she says, "Yeah, I seen that video today. That's my son getting beat.
oh man,
Supposed to do about that?" And then she even to my son. Imagine that.
so that you broke up a little bit, but we get the gist of it. He got his ass beat. Did they kill him, or did he just get beat up? Did the man on
They
Telford,
just
did he die?
he just got beat up, but his mama seen the video of it. No,
Okay,
no,
yeah, we got a little lag going right now.
yeah,
So that's rough. I actually, on my Facebook, I'm gonna shout it out again. Texas Prison Stories Facebook. I'm gonna keep doing it. I got a video on there of them killing somebody in Telford. They're stomping them to death by the door, by the same what you're talking about. They ended the man's life,
yeah,
and I posted the video after the people already had it, right? I didn't get nobody in trouble or no shit like that, but it's the only video I know. And a friend of mine shot that to me because he wanted people to see the awful reality of prison, and they're literally stomping this man. Hey, bro, he's down on the ground. They beat him. Then people run over there and just get a kick in him. It's like the whole pod, just everybody went and took a kick after he was already down.
Yeah, thought it was a pinata. Yeah.
Yeah, he was like a birthday pinata. That's how it really goes. I got another video. I'll send it to you. It's literally a man. So they're popping their cell doors, right? And they pop in order, one through the end. So the guy to the right's door pops first. He comes out. The guy next to him comes out and he just punches him from the side. When he drops down, he just starts stomping his face, right? And the law comes up and you hear it say, everybody rack up in your cells, in your cells. And the whole time the man is twitching and dying. Like he's dead. And then look, while he's dying, the dude runs over there and kicks him some more. Like, oh, I'm going to make sure. You know what I'm saying? This is the brutal reality that we're talking about.
Yeah,
here, you know
what's
what I
he
mean?
got to lose at that point? Yeah.
Yeah, finish off the job because he wanted to do what he did. You know what I mean? It was intended. So that type of shit is rough. But I can really not imagine being somebody's mom and your mom having to watch her son. That's torture right there. You know what?
Yeah. Yeah. And then she emailed today and she said that some of the officers that got arrested today, that they were involved in allowing that to happen to her son.
Oh, really? So we'll go a little further into that then. So when we hear about these officers that are bringing things in, okay, these crooked ass officers, not only are they bringing things in, they're the same ones that'll pop the door for the people that they're working with and let them do whatever the hell they want to do. They're the ones that'll put people in
Yes.
bad positions to get hit. Matter of fact, they're the officers that if you disrespect them too bad, inmates are gonna come get you for them. You know what I mean? Like this is a dirty game here. They're deep in the game by that time, right?
Yes. Like I spent my last 8 months on the Torres unit, which that's the youngster farm I was telling you about. And man, every single day, there's probably, trying to be realistic, 10, 15, 20 people that try to catch out because they're scared for their life every day, all over the unit. And man, the officers, for the most part, they just ignore them, go back to the wing, deal with it, stop being a hoe, whatever the case may be. They don't want to deal with it.
Bro, that's what I was telling you in our first video. Listen, when I first got to Beto, I didn't know there was a such thing as catching out. I never seen, the first place I went was state jail. Nobody caught out in state jail. People, bro,
Yeah.
listen, people was getting demolished in state jail. I mean, like pulverized, and nothing happened, right? Nothing. There was nobody, no button to push. The guard was in the little picket, could see through the door, through the glass wall. Like nothing happened. No, you just got demolished and had to go lay down in your bunk. That's the end of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I get to Beto, I immediately see people with black eyes and busted lips walking right past the laws. I'm like, what is this? And I just didn't even know anything about catching out back then, man. That's another thing where the prison system, like that's that safe prison shit kicked in, like in full effect, I guess, to where they're doing it. But when you told me that
2007,
yeah, when it really kicked in. So when you're talking that they're ignoring them, that's the real life prison, right? I have a story on my channel about somebody that was getting sexually assaulted, begging for help, trying to go to safekeeping, writing letters to congressmen and the director of the prison system, and nobody gave a damn. They kept saying, go get you a boyfriend and fight, or go fight. There's no reason why you can't go defend yourself like every other man. Like the attitude in there is not to protect you, it's to count you.
yeah, they become very calloused. Just kind of like an inmate. That's why I say officers become just as institutionalized as inmates, if not more so. They become callous, insensitive, and they just don't care about human life no more, or human pain and suffering. It don't move them no more.
Right. So, but all right, as remove ourselves from the situation, can we really blame them? Like, is there any way to stop yourself from becoming like that, working in this environment?
Yes, yes and no. You know what? Much like the military, TDCJ ought to have available, maybe even require officers, especially ones that work in bad places, the really bad places, to take counseling, bro. They probably need it, just like we do.
Like some PTSD counseling or something.
Yeah,
I guarantee they do. Can you so
something like
listen?
that. Yes, because it's
You
real.
seen Shannon? You seen them new boot officers? Their eyes are like paper plates. They're walking around. They're terrified as fuck. People gonna play games and tricks and play with them because they're the new boot, and it's so easy to do. Like it's a scary ass environment,
Yep.
even if you work there. Maybe more so if you
Yes.
work there.
Yeah.
It's yeah. So I mean, I don't
Yeah.
really blame those guys if you want to know the truth, right? Like I understand you're dealing with people that are psycho killers, people that are, and not only that, bro, the guys in prison with that mouthpiece, that game, like they can finesse and talk you into any fucking thing. Like these people, as their career progresses, have probably had so much game on them that they fell for
Yeah.
that it messed it up
Yeah.
for everybody. It makes them
It,
callous, you know.
it's like the story of crying wolf. They done heard it so many times, man. They're gonna automatically assume that 99% of you're just lying. You're just running game.
Right.
And that might not be the case. You might
So
have the
that
chance to save somebody's life.
Listen, that's where the bad medical treatment comes from, huh? You go to medical and the professionals assume you're lying. It's
Yeah.
just
You just want something. Yeah.
yeah. You're just in here to
Yeah.
touch
True.
yourself and look at this nurse, or you're just in here to get some air conditioner, or you're just in here to, you know what I'm saying? You're just in here for
That happens too.
any reason except you're sick. That's why
Yeah.
they're just gonna assume you're there. And if they consider you not sick, they ain't really got to do no work. Send his ass on back. I had two. Listen, so I used to
Yeah.
love wearing earplugs, dog. I would wear earplugs, and they sold them on commissary, right? I put the motherfuckers in and go to sleep
Right.
because I hated the noise. Well, I remember one night my earplug falling out, and me in the middle of my sleep reaching on the ground and putting that earplug in. Okay. Then when I took them back out, I put them in this little plastic container I used to hold them in. And the next night, I used them again. I would use them about 3 nights, and then I throw them away. Well, I got a terrible ear infection in both ears. Like I had literally got to the point where I had pus coming out of my ears on both sides. The first of all, I couldn't get them to take me serious in medical, not even a little bit. They were saying they don't see nothing, it looks fine. You know what I'm saying? Send me back. I'm right in our 60s for the same problem, so they're ignoring them, right? They're like, oh, he's full of shit. We already looked at him. By the time that I get them to look at me again, the lady looks in my ear and goes, he's got cotton stuck in his ear. Fucking idiot. That's what she tells me. It tells the nurse. And I'm like, I don't have cotton in my ear. I've never stuck cotton in my ear in my life.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? The other nurse grabs the little thing and looks. She said, that's not cotton. His ears are so infected, they're turning white in there.
That's
And
us.
it was pus. And the stupid lady thought it was cotton. That's the type of medical care you get, right? So at that time, now I get some antibiotics. It progressed before the antibiotics kicked in so bad that I couldn't hear the TV. I couldn't hear the day room. My homeboys were having to put their hands to my ear like that and yell in there, dog, just so I could hear anything. I was scary for a minute. Like, is this even going to come back to reality? It did, though, finally.
It's a common belief. It's a common belief in there that the nurses and doctors that work in prison, and let me say, I don't know if this is true or not. I just know that it's a common belief amongst inmates. It's believed that these people are assigned to work in prisons because they can't cut it in a free world hospital. They don't make the
Yeah.
cut. Or the
Yeah.
doctors have already made mistakes. They got bad reputation, whatever the case may be. That's the belief.
I
Yeah.
fully believe that. I still believe that because who in their right mind would choose to come work there when they could go to a normal hospital?
Oh, and I only got one other question, bro. Do you still wear earplugs?
At work, I do, but that's it. But guess what? I'll never wear them twice. Never twice. You know what I'm saying? Hey, that hell yeah, in the feds, I was still doing it. You know what I was? That was in TDC in the feds, I still was. But I made sure Guess what? I bought a bunch. They were like 35 cents. Yeah, I'm gonna buy about 30 of them every commissary, about $10. You know what I mean? Or every month anyway. I'm sorry, every month. But
Yeah.
so that was something that used to drive me crazy though. Me personally, I remember being at Joe Corley Detention Center in the Feds, taking some toilet paper and ripping out pieces of the trash bag and making me earplugs. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like that
Yeah. Roll it
noise, I
up.
hate, bro. That noise is, I can't stand it. You know, I mean, I know you get used to it, but
The
at the
worst
same time,
noise.
leaving it alone and not hearing it is nice.
The worst noise in prison has to be administrative segregation. It never stops.
Hmm.
And it's not just typical noise, it's literally the noise of people going insane, like for
I
real.
know. So listen, I wasn't in Ad Seg in the state, but I one time in the county, I went to the lockdown thing in the county. We had a big old fight. Fight was like 17 of us fighting. They ran out of cells in the normal little lockdown place, right? So they were spreading us out through the jail. They took me into this weird tank. This was a tank that I'd never seen in Galveston County Jail. This was in the old jail. It was about six, I believe 6 cells, 7 cells, maybe 6 cells, right? A small, tiny day room, and these are single man cells, small day room. And that was it. No TV. It had a phone on the wall and a sink and a toilet in the day room. So when they're bringing me in there, for one, I got a big black eye. I've been fighting. I'm busted up. You know what I'm saying? So I really ain't trying to. I don't know where I'm going. I'm like, where am I going? And I see single man cells. I'm like, I've never even knew this existed in my county. So as I sit down, I realized something ain't right, dog. Instantly, look, the guy next to me. So you got the steel wall for people that don't know. This bunk is here, and the other bunk is right there, and that's most prisons that or shit I've ever seen. Right, the bunks, the guy in the other cell rolls around and he moves your bunk. You know what I'm saying? So the man had his pants or something tied into a knot, and he just kept beating on the bunk over and over and over again, just beating on the bunk,
Yeah.
dog. And I'm in the cell next to him. I'm like, what the hell is going on right now? And then listen, he started flipping personalities into being the captain and then some woman. And one of his personalities was a woman. This is how crazy it is. Then there was some other guy down the way screaming about something. I don't know what it was, right? And I'm talking about just they closed the door and this is happening. So I'm like, what? I say, man, who is down there? And there was a guy, I'll never forget him. His name was Francisco from Galveston. I ain't gonna say his
Yeah.
last name, but people watching know Francisco had got shot at a gas station about 9 times, and I think he did some retaliating, and that's why he was in the county, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, he said, "Man, don't worry, they're gonna let us out later. We're gonna get them." I'm like, "What you talking about? I don't know what's happening, right?" Well, he was housed in there, I think, because of the situation with his crime. He was not. He was in. It wasn't PC, but he was single celled the whole time, right? So anyway, he had a hot pot. I didn't have shit. I'm already done nothing. So
Yeah.
when he comes out, he starts splashing them with the hot pot water. His shit ain't rigged to boil now. It's not boiling. But how many degrees you think those hot pots are with that before you rig them up to boil? They're hot.
Well, the boiling point is like 112. So they probably get up to like 90, maybe 100,
I don't
somewhere in
know.
there.
I know one thing. I know it was burning the hell
Yeah.
out them people, burning them. They're ooh screaming like little
I,
girls, dog. And he's just
I
laughing.
seen I seen a guy boil. I seen a guy boil hair grease and crush up a light bulb and put it in there and dash somebody and add seg with it.
Oh, what it do to him?
Took the
Whole
skin
burn.
off him. Filleted him. Took the skin off, man. Everything. Wherever you wiped, the skin came off.
Hey,
Yeah. Bad,
Well,
bro.
Wayne said boiling is 212, not 112. So if it's 212, them
Oh,
pots are
excuse me.
probably, yeah, no, you almost had it right. You had the 12 right.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it
I
was. I just know,
worked in the boiler room. Yeah. It's been a
yeah,
while.
right. So they're about 150 degrees. You know what I'm saying? Splashing
Okay.
on these people. But when you take out that little resistor in the bottom, and now they don't have a thermostat no more, and they just boil. For those that don't know that are watching, you know what I'm saying? So look,
Said
somebody said
112.
190. Oh, 190 is what they're saying. So imagine hair grease with light bulbs coming in at you 190 degrees. So here's the crazy
Yeah.
part why he did that. And I'm clicking to me. because you can't take a towel and wipe it off without slicing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's evil. That's
Yeah.
crazy right there, right?
They dream up some really bad stuff, bro. Yeah. You talk
Man,
about
that's
crazy people in there and the noise. There's just one more that I'll never forget, right? I heard plenty of screaming and insanity, but there was this one guy every morning at 3 a.m. He'd get up for breakfast and he'd step up to the door and he would start singing The Lion King loud as hell. Yeah.
what? Oh, it's
That
time to
In
wake
the
up.
Jungle stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every
Could he
day.
sing? Could he at least sing good?
Yes, bro. And then he would keep on doing songs like I Got Sunshine and stuff like that. He'd keep on for about 3-4 hours.
Oh man.
Yeah, every
That
single day.
that'd be funny and cool the first day. You know what I'm saying? Day 500
Yeah,
of the fucking Lion King, I'm ready to pop my door and kill his ass. Now then, you done drove
for
me
real.
crazy. You know what
You
I
and
mean? Like,
everybody else.
yeah, the whole, yeah, everybody. You know what I'm so
But
that
you're
is
in
fucked up.
SEG. You can't get to him. Not really.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Listen, it's torture, man. It's torture.
Yeah.
Oh, before we get out of here, is there anything that you wanted to speak on that these people? So listen, my audience is a little bit different than what y'all are used to. The majority of these people watching
Yeah.
are people out here, I hate to say it, that are borderline getting ready to go, man. Like these are people that we either got people that are convicts watching for the most part. We got people on probation, people that are still in the street life. Speak to them for a minute, man, just about why they don't want this shit. I know we did this last time, but this is something that you're gonna be asked to do for your entire time, bro. Like, tell them what you would tell your own
It's
son.
needed.
Tell if you had a son or a little brother or your best friend that's out here fucking up, man. What would you tell them about that life, man?
Man, first and foremost, and I say it time and again because it's the number one thing that misled me in life and so many others. Man, don't believe the music, bro. Don't believe the music. Don't buy into the Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? All the stuff you see on TV, man, that's all glamour and glitz. That ain't real life, bro. You know, that's we think that this gangster lifestyle is glamorous and it's all fast cars and diamond rings and badass women and all of this and that, right? But it's really not what it is. And it's just a question of whether it's sooner or later. You're going to be up in that cell getting that heart check. They're going to see what you're made of. They're going to run like 3 people in on you, like the BMW, a black dude, a white dude, and then a Mexican. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to have to fade a lot of pain and violence just to try to prove that you're a man. You know what I'm saying? And man, you talk about drug addiction and all this K2 stuff that is so bad. And man, while we laughed about it and stuff because a lot of it is very silly, you know, but did any of that sound like fun? Do you want to be that damn fool that people are laughing at and kicking on while you're flopping around on the ground, splashing around in your own throw up? You know, do you want to be that dude? Do you have any self-pride, any self-respect, any self-esteem? You know what I'm saying? If you do, you don't want to be that dude, man. You don't want to have to go through this. And then however many years you got to do in prison, when you get out, man, you know, I just got denied. I think it was 6 different apartment complexes denied my application, man, because of I got a murder conviction. And I was a 17-year-old kid when I caught my case. I did 25 years, bro. And that's so old. It don't even gonna come up on most searches, you know, but trust me, it's going to dog you for the rest of your life. You know, all the stigma that sticks to somebody like us, man. It's just, man, you're making it hard on yourself, bro. You know, for what's the saying? Minutes of pleasure, years of pain. Yeah, minutes of pleasure, years of pain, sometimes decades. It's just not worth it, man. Don't believe in the hype. Think like this here. Wrap your mind around, okay, if I want some nice cars, big trucks, an awesome crib with a swimming pool and a jacuzzi, whatever you want, right? If you want a helicopter, whatever it is. How am I going to be able to make enough bread to get something like that and not have to worry about the cops or the IRS or somebody coming to get it? You know, how are you going to do that? You know, and nobody wants to work a job every day that they hate. You got to get up and go do something that you hate every day. So think about, what is it that you actually like to do, man? And you need to figure out how you can make money off of that. You know, what do I need to pursue in school, in a college degree, or in a certification program that's going to help me to be able to do this right here and to make the living that I want to make so I can enjoy my life? You know, how do you want to spend your life, man? You want to spend your life fighting in a prison rec yard, you know, trying to impress other men that you might not never see again for the rest of your life as soon as you get moved around? Or do you want to try to live out your dreams, man? Because we all get one life to live. That's it, man. That's one life to live. You know, why waste even some of it? You know, most people live to be, what, the median age for a man in America is like 79 or something now. And it breaks down to something like 25,550 days. That's your entire life. 25,550. A lot of people, man, depending on how old you are, you might be in the second quarter. You might be at halftime. You might be a little bit past halftime. But whatever time it is, man, it needs to be crunch time. You know, think about what you want in life and think about how you're going to get it. And hopefully have fun in the process. You know what I'm saying? So that it ain't all slave labor. That's the best things I can tell you, man. Do what you love and love what you do.
He said one thing that hit me really hard during that, and I agree with everything he said. He said it very well. He says sometimes it takes decades to finish what they give you, right?
Yeah.
We ain't talking about 2, 3, 4, 5 years. He said decades. Think about that, y'all. That's the type of shit.
A quarter century.
A quarter century that what he just did. You don't want to do it. And he had to leave people behind that had quarter centuries done, that still got to do another quarter century, may never come home. But see, pay attention to what he said because it was extremely deep. The problem that I had as a kid, and that's what I was going to talk about if we spoke about the gang stuff, right? I seen no future. I didn't think ahead of time. And that's a childlike mentality, right? As men, as we progress, we must start thinking about the future. We must realize that helicopter you want, them fancy shit you need, you can only keep it by getting it one way, and that's legally. You get that shit by stealing, you get it by killing, by drug dealing, them people gonna take it from you. Them people, it's guaranteed you're gonna lose it. There's nobody, the only people that make it through the game to the day they die without going to jail and getting arrested are people that work for the police. Everybody has a day. Everybody has a number where your ass is getting caught. And then when you get caught, you're going to be on your knees in the prisons, in the jail cell in the county. You're going to be in your knees praying for mercy from God that you probably don't deserve. So this is the type of shit that I'm telling people.
Same old. Please, God, if you let me make it one more time, I swear I'll never do it again. That's old.
Yeah, yeah. So that's the type of shit that I think I'm going to start telling them about. Instead of telling them long term, just think about the day after you get arrested, motherfucker, for all this dope you're riding around selling. Think about the day after you get arrested for pulling that trigger, the day, because guess what? You get arrested today, Wednesday night, your mind is still fucked. Thursday or Friday, you start realizing, damn, my car is in the impound right now. Shit, ain't nobody fed my dog in 2 days, man. I can't remember nobody's phone number because I got a cell phone now.
Yeah.
This is the situation that you got to tell these, like, hey, man, you're going to be in a holding cell, sleeping on the ground for days trying to process and figure out your life that you just ruined.
Cold as hell.
Yeah,
it's always cold.
These are the immediate situations that you lead into. And then guess what? Now you got a high ass bond. You got to wait for a bond reduction possibly if you ain't got that bread like that. Then, everybody can't afford a bond. There's people that are just sitting in there for years waiting on a court date. And then you start your decades, right? Then decades come or years come. Like, what he's telling you is deep, and y'all better listen. But I got one thing from what you said the most: learn something, learn a trade, learn what you like, learn how to do it. Hey, every kid can't be a rapper. I'm sorry, it's not realistic. Start a podcast, start interviewing people. You know what? If you don't have no motion yourself, invest in yourself. Pay some B grade celebrity $300. Come on your channel. Do stuff. There's other things, get a CDL. Shannon doing hard work right now, making good money. And how does that? So let me ask you something. That hard work that you're doing now for yourself, not for the state, after 25 years, it's got to be a good feeling, right?
Bro, hey man, I tell my boss sometimes, man, because I'm actually pretty cool with him, the guy that owns the company. I tell him, man, I'm happy every day. And that's the truth. I'm happy every day, man. I'm
Me
glad
too.
to get out. No, I'll never lose. I'm not stuck in the past, but I'll never forget those years, especially those years that I spent in administrative segregation, where, man, my deepest desire in life, I wish I could just feel the grass, bro. Reach down and touch it. Better yet, I wish I could walk barefoot in the grass. My entire world is made up of concrete and steel, year after year after year after year. And it's all cold and dark, bro. And there were some ugly years, man. I just wish I could stand in the rain and let it rain on me. Man, there's nothing that would be better to me. And I'll never forget those simple desires.
Hold on.
No,
Let's be
I'll
real
never
though. Let's
forget it,
let's
man.
be real too. Man goes to jail on a murder case at 17 years old. By the time he reaches 30, he's been in a box 10 years by himself. Imagine how bad he wanted to kiss a woman. Imagine how bad he wanted to
Woo!
get a hug. Imagine how bad he wanted to do XXX things. That's something that
Yeah,
men not gonna relate to. He wanted to touch the grass. I'm sorry. That's
yeah.
deep, brother. I'm not disrespecting you, right? I
I did,
understand.
bro.
I know, and that's what it's like that. But I'm saying you can reach them by going, hey, uh, I was horny as hell for 25 years. And look, hold on, and look, and I don't swing that way. I'm not that guy that was participating in that because the majority of men ain't
Yeah,
participating in that in there. There's the ones that
no,
do, but it's not the majority like the people
yeah,
think. It's not real, right? If you was doing
yeah,
that in there, you was
yeah,
already wanting to do that. You don't, there's
yeah,
never amount of there's never a time limit of a lack of women that'll turn a man to a man. Period.
yeah,
So
yeah,
just the desire, and it's not even just the sexual, bro. Of like that's why there's so many prison wives now. These men needs to feel some type of love so bad, and
yeah,
obviously these women do too, right? So
yes,
that's one thing that I like about those tablets, bro. That the said guys and everybody are getting emails and things like that. They're reaching out, like it's a little different. I know they don't get the phone calls and all that like everybody, but
pen pals, pen
right, they're
pals. Yeah,
they're pen pals. So people back in the day, I would have to write 3 or 4 letters before I get one back from somebody because it's moving fast out here, man. They had kids to raise, they had stuff to do. And
yes,
at the end of the letter, I would be like, hey, don't even worry about writing back. I'm just bored right now and just
yeah.
expressing my mind and I don't got nobody to talk to. I wouldn't even care sometimes if they wrote back. You know what I mean?
Just send me
That's
some pictures when you get a chance. That's all. They're like little
something like that.
windows out into the world. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, hey, there's things you're gonna miss, like friends that you trust no matter what. When you just got to
mhm,
a new prison and don't know nobody, things like that. You can't in a prison in a setting. It's not okay to be vent or be emotional about things and shit like that.
mhm.
You're weak
Got to
if
be
you
tough.
doing that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the type of shit I'm trying to tell people, man. Like you don't want this type of environment. Like he said, another thing you said that was very deep. I appreciate you giving that spiel because look what he said. You're on a prison wreck yard fighting to impress people that you don't even know, may never see again, but you're doing it.
true.
And now you don't even know why you're doing it. You know
True.
what I'm saying? You don't even know why you're
Sometimes
doing
you're
this shit.
catching extra time for these guys, getting years stacked on top of your sentence already. And for what? For somebody that you really don't know that well, and you may not ever see again for the rest of your life. So what was the point of that? That's crazy.
I know
That's
it, man.
crazy. This is your life, bro. This is your life, and you only get one.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So
Mm,
my friend uploaded a video that's on my channel the other day, like yesterday. I need you to see this, man. This video
okay.
is deep. It's deep, bro, because it's this young boy who's in there. Obviously, they just killed somebody. Him and his friends just killed somebody, and they're letting his mama basically say goodbye to him. But you know how the laws play the trick. They run the
Oh
camera
wow.
and they got the mic going in case mama says too much. But the video, mom saying, "Son, I'm so sorry." She said, "I don't know how any of this is gonna turn out. It's too late now. I didn't tell him nothing, son. All I told him is that I picked you up and y'all don't never tell me nothing, okay?" Like she's telling her son, "I didn't tell on you, baby. I love you and I still love you." But
Yeah.
dude, it's one of the most, as a parent now, I don't even know if it'll hit. So you got a murder case before, but that's a different situation from being a parent and watching your little child catch one. You know, you
I
it's
can't
different.
imagine, man.
It's a different feeling. So when I
I
watched this
yeah.
mom say that shit, it was devastating, bro. I'm like, damn, this is the
Yeah,
shit we do
I
to our
bet.
family. This is what we do
You know,
to our loved ones.
I know, like my father raised me. Most people, man, it's the mama more often than not. But my pops raised me, and man, I only ever seen my old man cry maybe twice in my entire life. But the day they convicted me of murder and sentenced me to 35 years in the penitentiary, I seen the man break down.
And I
You
know
know,
that
and
was the hardest thing you ever seen, wasn't it?
it was, but kind of not till later. Because man, to tell you the truth, bro, I was so far gone at that point in the mentality and the mindset. As crazy as it sounds, bro, I didn't feel nothing at all at that point. I was
No.
numb. I just didn't care. I was like, whatever, you know?
That's why I said it's a different situation for the parents. I think it's 10 times, a million times harder.
Yeah.
Like, bro, listen, I'm not trying to get too much in your business, and I don't mean to be like, if you don't want to answer, I don't care. But
You good, bro?
do you remember having to call your daddy first collect call and say, "Dad, they got me for a murder"?
I didn't get caught on the day that it happened. I didn't get caught for about a week and almost a week.
He
So,
already knew.
man, yeah, Pops knew. He already knew. But, man, but yeah, it's still a hell of a thing, man. You know,
Yeah.
my life's a little different. My dad wasn't just super hardcore, but my daddy was a biker. You know what I'm saying? And you know, we've been to all the motorcycle runs and rallies and that whole little culture. So they're not
Man,
unused to
listen, bro.
violence.
I'm
Yeah.
here to tell you though, it don't matter, man. I'm used to it too. I got over 70 friends now passed away, you know what I'm saying, at a young age,
Mm.
and I'll never be prepared or ready for that moment if something like that happened with my own child though, man. That's your seed. Like it's hard to explain if you don't have them, and I never would have understood this before. It's
I
crazy.
don't have no kids, bro. Yeah.
I know. So that's what I'm saying. If you have some, you'll figure it out. Like it's a different feeling, man. And I'm basically, I guess, speaking to the family that's watching. Like it's unfortunate, you know. But I feel like
Yeah.
this: if we're out here, if we're in there and it's destroying our mama's life, our father's life, like they can't sleep, worried about us, that loved one, and it's speaking to the loved ones. Y'all need to remind that inmate constantly about that because when we don't love ourselves, bro, like he just said, he just got sentenced to 35 years on the murder. He didn't feel shit. Okay, that's that's how we're living at that time, right? But I know you still loved your daddy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
I don't care how gangster we get, bro. What we're
Yeah.
doing, we still love our moms and dads and grandmas or whoever's in our life, whoever
Yeah.
raised us, right? So I
Yeah.
feel like one of the most serious ways that you can help rehabilitate your family that's in prison is by reminding them how bad it devastated your life. Like, hey,
Yeah.
son, I can't sleep no more. All of this. But listen, when me and my big brother was both in prison at the same time, I told this story before. My mom was so stressed out, mostly worried about him. Honestly, it was really about him more than me, because I'm a lot bigger than he is. Right? My big brother was little, and he was a non-violent type person. He wasn't. He was a money-making person, not necessarily violent. And she knew me. I
Yeah.
grew up fighting my whole life, so she was worried about him. The added stress of me. My mom's whole hair turned white, like that star on the
Mm.
flag back there.
Yeah.
My mom has brownish blonde hair, bro. She wasn't old enough for her hair to turn white, and it turned white because she's so stressed about her
Yeah.
kids.
Stress. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I got when I caught a serious case one time. My grandma caught a case of the shingles that comes from stress, right? Like it kicks in stress. My grandma, them shingles, my grandma was in so much pain. That's one of the lowest point of my life, right? Not being
Yeah.
in jail, none of that. Knowing I caused my grandmother that raised me
Yeah.
shingles. I turned my
Yeah.
mom's hair that birthed me white. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not proud of this
Yeah.
shit. I still need to go tell my mama tomorrow. I'm sorry for that white hair, mom. Because you know when
Yeah.
we got out, her hair went back to a normal color. People probably think I'm
What?
lying in the comments, but I ain't got no reason to lie.
I
Yeah, I
didn't
don't know
know that
what
it
happened.
could go back after it went white.
Maybe
I
she
didn't know
started dyeing it, bro. I don't fucking know. Maybe I gotta ask her tomorrow. It sure started looking normal when I got back out, but when she was coming to visit me, and I'm not talking about gray, like yeah, it
Yeah.
hurt her, dog.
Stark
Yeah,
white. I've seen
yeah,
it. Yeah.
yeah,
I've
yeah.
seen it.
It's horrible, and
What you're talking about is true, though, man. It makes me think one of the best definitions of love that I've ever heard is who do you care about more than you care about yourself? Those are the people you love.
that's what I'm saying. When we don't care about nothing happening to us, we don't give a damn if we live or die, get a life
Yeah.
sentence, or get set free. We
Yeah.
still care about those people. And I
Yes.
feel like the people on the outside need to flex that a little bit. And nobody ever
Yeah.
done it to me. My mom never said, God damn you, you're turning my hair white. I hate you. No, it was always, I love you, son. Hope you're all right in there. You know, like it, no, my mom probably should have said, look what you're doing to me, boy, you killing me. Like that would have probably
You know,
sat a
it,
little
it
deeper with
used to
me.
be it used to be a really big part of hood culture, to always talk about how much you respect the mama. And it still is to some degree, but I feel like that's died off some. It used to be a big thing, man, because 80% of people are raised by a mama instead of a daddy or instead of both parents. The mama's
Right.
usually and the nurturer. And, mama always put on a pedestal. I feel like we lost some of that these days, man. It's not talked about or put out there as much as it used to be or stressed enough. And that's just one
Yeah.
aspect of it. But yeah,
I said the other day, man, that there's just no such thing in any type of low income area. This is speaking to the low income areas. Families are almost non existent right now. It's
yeah,
it's so rare. It's so rare. I can just look all around me right now and see single mothers. I'm single. I'm a single father. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
the family has literally deteriorated so bad through several generations now. I don't know how we're gonna
yeah,
fix this problem, right? And one thing that I was gonna tell you when I was talking about the gang membership, right? I
yeah,
became a gang member as a young kid. It's a different situation than a prison gang. Shannon was in a prison gang, y'all. We don't care. We don't need to say the
yeah.
name. It don't matter, right? He was in
Don't
a
matter.
prison gang. I was in a street gang as a kid. But I think we both, I don't know. I can't speak for you, but I would assume that we both joined that shit for the same reason. We both took it so serious for so many years because as young men, young boys, we really was lacking an identity. And then as in prison you get there, you are lacking an identity because you're a number, you're a new boot, you're a new face, you're just another guy behind the cage, you're nobody in there. Like you have to really do some drastic shit to become somebody or spend
Yeah,
years there to be somebody. So us personally, me and all my friends, right, we was Crips and we had the Bloods, and it developed so serious that people lost their lives, man. Like in the last 5 to 6, 7 years, friends are coming home now that got locked up in the mid '90s from the shit we was doing. You know what I mean? So this is what we're saying. They're quarter century in too, shit like that.
yeah,
But at that time, we were poor kids, we were bored kids, and we necessarily didn't have nothing to be proud of. The ones that was serious about it, we weren't baseball prodigies, we weren't football prodigies, We were nothing. We were like our parents, and I'm not blaming our parents because they had their struggles also, didn't really understand the importance of instilling an identity in us because they were going through their struggles now. And it's
Yeah.
deteriorated even more, bro. Like when I was young, if I met you and I shook your hand, I didn't have nothing to say. I'm Tim Snow. I do this and that and that. Nice to meet you. There was nothing. So shit, I'm Tim Snow. We Crips. What's up? That was the thing. And then we put pride into this, right? Like, oh, you're not gonna disrespect this shit. You're gonna respect our little area. Like
Yes.
it was foolish shit
Yeah.
where
Misplaced. Yeah.
we created something to have pride in that it was totally misplaced. And now it
Yeah.
took me a long time to be a grown man to even realize that. So in my
Yeah.
life, I made it to 38 years old with no children, getting arrested, getting in trouble, but also being a truck driver at the same time, went back to prison after a CDL. But I spent so many years, Shannon, this is embarrassing to admit. I spent so many years, I got it tattooed on me several places, big as hell, so many years saying I'm a Crip that when I got my CDL, I couldn't even, any rational person would have said, nah, I'm a truck driver. I'm thinking I'm a truck driving Crip. Like, what the fuck is in my mind, right? I'm not proud of this. This is ridiculous.
Yes.
Something happened in my life called Ella Rose to where for the first time in my life at 38 years old. Now listen, y'all, I had
Yeah.
nice cars, right? I had jewelry, I had money, I was married, I had a life. I never even identified as a husband. This was something in me, and this is how deep this silliness shit can run. I identified all the way up until I realized I'm a father now. Hold on.
Mm.
You can't be a Crip and a father. The fuck sense?
Mm.
That don't even sound right. You
Yeah.
know what I'm
Say
saying?
that
It don't even
again.
make fucking sense.
Yeah.
So when I first started this channel, one of the first things I did was write one of my what you call big homies or whatever, one of the older guys. When we was young, he was probably 8 years older. When I was 14, he was probably 21, 22, full blast in the game. He's pushing the line, and we always respected him. But I wrote him and I said, "Cuz, can you do a favor? Go around in there and ask people that are Crips and Bloods, and I'm talking about the ones pushing the line, the ones speaking, the ones fighting, the ones banging, like real. Go ask them, would they let their kids? Do they recommend their children be Crips or Bloods?
Man.
Not one man in there, not one man in prison that will live and die behind Crips and Bloods and have taken lives, doing life sentences behind it. Not one of them said they would want their children to
Answer
be
for their
one.
children. Yeah. That's amazing. That's an amazing story, bro.
I mean, it's true. I actually still have the letter in the video, and it meant something to me because the guy I'm talking that did this is somebody that was serious. He's fully respected, right? And they weren't looking at him funny, like, "Why are you asking that?" They all answered truthfully, like,
Yeah.
"No, we would not want our children to do that." So let me ask you: do you feel like that's a part of why people are joining prison gangs for the exact same idea, for a brotherhood, for an identity, for to feel like they
Those
belong? Is that what's happening?
those are the primary two words, man. Like you said, they don't have an identity, man, which a lot of people don't. A lot of people out here in the free world, they don't really know who they are, what they are, where they come from, or anything like that that gives them any roots in the earth. They just live on. I call them surface dwellers. They float through life on the surface of everything, never delving under the water to see what's deeper
Me.
than that.
That's how I
But
was for 30. So I was 38. Me, bro.
yeah, but there's also the brotherhood thing, man, and we get a mentality that is very similar to the military. With that band of brothers mentality, us against the world, we're gonna fade it all, whatever they talking about. And man, once you've been in some heat, you've been through the fire, so to speak, with some of these dudes, these bros or whatnot, then man, you feel like they're your family now, man. And that's another thing. A lot of us come from broken homes and broken families and stuff, man. And we're still looking for that sense of family as well. And we try to find it in that brotherhood that tries to become our family. And some of them do, many of them don't. But that's being sought and looked for also. And then of course there's the last reason, which nobody likes to talk about, and it should probably be first. But a lot of people are looking how to survive and stay alive. Speaking for white dudes, man, white dudes are a minority in Texas prison system. A small minority, really. You know what I'm saying? Not too small, but still a small minority. And then even being a minority, man, bro, trying to be realistic, on a good day, man, I'd be lucky, and I'm probably being too optimistic when I say this, but maybe half of that minority might actually be solid dudes that are going to stand up for themselves, much less anybody else. And it's probably less than half. It just hurts me to admit that. You know what I'm saying? But it's just what it is. And
but
so, man, yeah, you're looking to survive this hellish place. Let me
stop you one thing, though, Shannon. Hold on, listen. So everybody always says that, right? And it's real. But goddamn it, you better realize half of them black dudes sitting over there ain't got no heart either. Half of them Mexican dudes sitting over there don't. There's nothing about them, no race that determines that, right? One thing they have is numbers. We had the numbers. You understand? Like, it's a numbers game. Yeah, we're the majority over here. And it comes down to a fact, and everybody in prison, when this riot pops off, when some people gotta defend themselves, everybody's not an aggressor, right? Everybody's not going out looking for the squabble, for the fade, and all this other shit. So a lot of times you're looking at gang related people that are living up under rules where I have to accept this. It's not that they're not. I guarantee you and any of your bros would have to handle business if it came to them. You understand? And that's why y'all got the ban. But certain people, like you said, everybody ain't built for it. You know what I'm saying? It's like that. So I think it's got a little bit to do with the whites being a smaller number. They're always going to get bullied. They're going to get people, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, there's this, it is like that. But it's like that for everybody. I swear it is. And you will never know that unless you're over there with them on their side. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody going to put on that act. But you better believe there's Mexicans making Mexicans ride. And there's blacks making blacks ride too. It don't just go for it's ruthless for anybody, no matter what color you are. You know what I mean?
Absolutely true. But it goes to show that survival, not so much protection, but survival, identity, family, brotherhood. Those are the big things that lead people into gangs, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So check this out. Is it easier to get a person to join, to get a recruit, to get somebody that wants to be down when they're younger versus older? Because
Absolutely.
Younger, I would think so. Yeah, because younger, you're still searching for yourself, right?
Yeah, you're less mature, man. I mean, just real talk, you're less mature. And on top of that, something I learned about the male brain is the frontal lobes of your brain. That's what deals with rational decision making, long-term thinking, being able to think ahead and think about consequences, stuff like that, abstract thought. That doesn't fully develop in a man until he's between the age of 23 to 25 years old.
Right.
So you're not even completely mentally mature until you're almost 25, maybe even 25 years old. And it's not till years later when you get some hard-won experience and you start to actually think for yourself that, like, hey, man, this shit's a lie, man. These fools say this right here, but they keep doing this right here over and over and over again. They telling on each other and this, that, and the other. And like, man, how does this add up? How can I say that I'm really loyal to this or that, or that we really represent this, or we exist for this reason, and we ain't doing nothing but spinning our wheels, talking about, hey, what's up, bro? Hey, what's up, man?
That's what's
the point, man?
I know it. So something my friend said in his letter too. I need to redo that video.
Yeah.
He said, if this is beneficial to us, why do none of us want our children doing this? Where is the Crips and Bloods Legal Defense Fund? Where is the Crips and Bloods Recreation Center? Where is the What is
Yeah,
anything good with this shit? Anything, and nobody can think
that
of
is a
one
mature
thing.
thought process. Absolutely.
Hmm. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, hey, if a kid, so listen, if y'all are out there young, go join a sorority at a college. Guess what? Your sorority brothers will make sure you have a job for the rest of your life. They'll when you go buy a car, the sorority brother will be the guy selling it to you that gives you the cheap price. I'm
Hey,
serious. You
brother,
know what I'm saying?
ain't the sorority the one for the chicks and the fraternity the one for the
Whatever.
dudes?
It's, I don't know. I didn't even go to high school. I'm saying I don't know shit. I quit after 8th grade. Fuck it.
Hey,
I
I
went to
want
high
to go
school.
join a sorority.
I'll
What's
join
up?
a sorority too. Let me pledge straight up. But I'm just saying, you know what I'm talking about, right? Go
Yes,
join
sir.
something positive. Go, hey,
Yes,
go
sir.
go to the military because guess what? For the rest of your life, you can go to the hospital and the doctor for free.
Man, I've always loved that option right there, man, especially for low income cats that they don't see a lot of options open to them. You know what I'm saying? They on government funds and this and that. And, you know what I'm saying? Be that as it may, the military is a great option as long as
I
you
think
haven't
so.
already got some felonies. Man, they're going to train you to do all kinds of badass stuff. You know, they're going to give you a trade, a profession. You might get to travel the world. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be in great
Yeah.
shape. You know, come on,
Yeah.
bro. And
I can't.
everybody wants to hire a veteran when you get out.
And
Come
two,
on, man. It's
listen.
a win.
If you want to go shoot guns and kill people and do all this and show how
Do it
badass you is,
legally.
there you go, right there, right? If you want to,
Do
but
it
guess
legal.
what? But also, if you want to be an IT man, electronics guy, a radio
Yes.
specialist, an aircraft mechanic, a diesel
Yeah.
mechanic, a
And they'll
professional
pay for your
chef,
college too.
all of
They'll
that
pay for
shit,
your
like
college. All of that.
that's probably the route everybody that's in a hardcore gang would have excelled in is the military. We'd have loved that, and we could never see it back then. You know what?
Just like they used to give them the option, go to prison or go to the army.
Somebody in
Go
the
to the
comments
army.
actually said they need to start doing that again, don't they?
Yes. Yes.
They really
Great
do.
soldiers. Now they
I
need
think
that
so too.
discipline and that structure. Yeah.
Straight up. Hey, listen,
Yes,
Shannon, I got
sir.
to get out of here because we both got to get up early in the morning. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Y'all follow
Loved
him
it,
on
bro.
Facebook, Shannon Marshall. Type in Shannon Marshall on Facebook. Comment how you think it's spelled. That's how it's spelled. He'll
Yeah.
pop up. Make sure you follow the Texas Prison Stories page. And man, I appreciate it. Love you too, man. I appreciate the hell out of this. This is this man taking his time to give back a little bit here to speak knowledge. You know, I don't have 25 years in the system, so I can't tell you what decades feel like, right? That's what Mr. Larry used to be for. This man can tell you, and he ain't said nothing good about it yet, other than he found
Mm.
himself and he became a man. You know, I'm very proud of you, brother. For the people that are watching that don't understand, this guy's came home. He's hitting home run after home run after home run. And even myself, I'm not gonna call myself skeptical, but I gotta see it to believe it, and I keep seeing it, bro. You know what I'm saying? You're doing your thing, man. Just keep going, bro. We're proud of you. Hey, man.
I've
It's
been dreaming about this, brother, for years.
so
Real
before we
talk.
go, when you got out, did you bend over and touch the grass? I hope
Yes,
so.
sir.
I was
Well,
finna say,
I've been in GP. I've been in GP, so I've been
okay,
in the grass
yeah,
already.
that's right. But when you hit that
But
first
yes,
rec yard, I bet you got out there and touched it, huh?
yes, I did. I ran. I did barefoot sprints.
Already, I bet it felt good too.
Yeah, I
Got to run
busted my
around.
ass.
They
My
knew you
legs
just came.
collapsed and I
Hold on.
busted my
They
ass.
knew you just came out the hole. They like, look at this
I
dude running
did.
around barefoot tripping. He's crazy. That's what they was
Yeah,
thinking too.
I
Yeah, well,
did.
that's
It
hilarious.
was great.
Listen, man,
It
I
was great.
appreciate you, bro. I'll holler at y'all later. Texas Prison Story family. If you watching, double tap the screen on YouTube, hit the thumbs up on Facebook. We'll catch y'all later.
Good night.